that the meeting, bits of the meeting will be recorded for publication. Could we start the recording? See, that seems to be started now. Good morning, colleagues, and welcome to the meeting of the Regulatory Functions Board this morning. Could we have any apologies? Elaine?
I have apologies from Councillor Andy Steele.
Thank you. Any declarations of interest? None indicated. Okay, we'll move on to item 1A, which is for variation private hire car operators licence from the applicant, Mr. Latimer. Is Mr. Latimer in the lobby?
Yes, yes, I'm just going to bring him in now.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Mr. Latimer.
Yes, good morning, how are we?
Good morning, I'm well. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm fine.
That's you. So that's you in the meeting now.
Okay.
Morning, Mr. Latimer. It's Councillor John McNaughton here. I'm the convener of the board. I'm going to ask Douglas Campbell, who's the Council's legal advisor, just to introduce the item and cover the procedure. Douglas?
Thanks, convener. Mr. Latimer, you've been invited to come to the board today to address your application. Your application's for variation of your private hire car licence, and you're looking, I don't think you say actually how long you want, but you're looking to get an extension on the age of your licence, sorry, an extension to the licence life of your current vehicle. So the board obviously will be looking at whether to give you longer, how long for, and obviously any extension would relate to your existing vehicle, because that would be the purpose of your application. This is your opportunity, Mr. Latimer, to address the board. Obviously, you're elected to take part by appearing by telephone as you have today. So it's your opportunity to address the members of the board.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Latimer, you can carry on.
Right, okay. Firstly, could I state that when I filled this application out a couple of months ago now, I had got to request guidance on what length of period I could apply for, but no guidance was forthcoming. And really, I just had, I think I was just about to go for my 6-monthly MOT, so I put down 6 months, kind of assuming that might be the minimum or maximum period that you could apply for, given that was the MOT period when the vehicle was over 5 years old. However, so prior to me speaking, could I ask that consideration be given that I apply for an extension of 1 year to the vehicle's life as a taxi. So if they could consider that, it would be very good of them. If not, then the 6 months to apply for. Okay, so really, I've applied for the variation as a result of basically financial meltdown that I've experienced due to, for what is over a year now and counting of the pandemic. And I fully understand that there has to be a limit on the life of a vehicle, engaged in transporting the public. But the pandemic has effectively robbed me of what will be at least a year's use of the vehicle, and counting. But so, and as a result, it remains, as a result of doing very little over the past year, the vehicle remains in very good condition. I take great care of my vehicle. I'm the only person using it. A lot of vehicles are double shifted or treble shifted. I'm, approaching 66 years old. I don't abuse it. I don't use it for huge amounts of time. So it's still in very good condition. For instance, it would normally take it would only cost me about circa £1,000 to £1,200 a year to maintain the vehicle. Unfortunately, in the run-up to the pandemic, as the vehicle's getting a bit older, obviously, that year I spent nearly £3,000 maintaining it because there were 2 or 3 major issues that needed it. So, you know, if I don't get any more use out of the vehicle, I feel as though I'll have wasted that almost £3,000. So to not get anything back from that investment would be a sore one to take, really. To invest now in a new vehicle or even a second-hand vehicle would be very difficult for me. And of course, depending on what happens going on with the virus, it may be, you know, it would be almost financial suicide, depending on how it goes. Anyway, these are some of the points I would make to you, and I'll put it over to you, folks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Latimer. I'll throw it open to questions from members. Councillor Mackay.
Hello, Mr. Latimer. Can I ask you when you last had the vehicle serviced?
Yes, it was serviced on. I don't know the actual date. It was a couple of weeks ago. It was during last month.
Last
April, during about middle March.
Could you just help me out a bit? You said due to the COVID pandemic, you've not used the vehicle for a year. Does that mean you've had the vehicle laid up for a year, or have you been using it for other things?
No, I didn't say I hadn't used it. I've used it very little because of the pandemic. Because obviously it was shielding for the first major lockdown. So I think I worked, that would be probably September, October, November, December. But even when you are working, you're generally below 50% of normal. I was earning, during those months, I was earning on average between £3 and £4 an hour. Things are very, very quiet. So, and then come Christmas, the next lockdown, I haven't used the vehicle since then. But I'm hoping to maybe get back again in the next couple of weeks, and maybe even trial it out to see if it's any busier.
Right. So I'm still a bit puzzled because you said you haven't used it since Christmas. Do you use this just as a taxi, or do you use it as a private vehicle as well?
It's used as a private vehicle as well. So
okay. So it will have been used as a private vehicle since Christmas then?
Basically, as a shopping vehicle.
Right, that's okay. It's just to avoid any confusion that may arise from you saying that it's not been used when, in fact, what you mean is it's not being used as a taxi.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, okay. We should maybe just be a bit pedantic about it and distinguish between private hire vehicles and taxis as such. But any further questions? I don't see any. I think
no, I don't think so, no.
Mr. Latimer, are you quite happy? You want to add anything?
No, I don't think so. That's fine. I think I've covered the points here.
I think we've got a fairly clear picture, and we're ready to move to a decision on this one. Given all the circumstances, I would move that we grant an extension of the age condition by up to for 1 year, but subject to a 3-monthly inspection at the vehicle at the council depot, and also that the first of those is done within the 28 days. Mr. Latimer, do you understand the condition and are you quite happy with that?
Yes, although I would point out that I have just taxi tested it just a
Right.
week
Well,
or so ago.
I think that would cover the first inspection, but from here on in, we'd be looking for 3 monthly inspections just to give us some assurance about the condition of the vehicle. But other than that, we're granting the 1 year extension on the age. Is that agreed by members?
Agreed.
Convener, can I just clarify, is that a 1 year from the 7th anniversary of the vehicle or 1 year from today's date?
What's the difference, Douglas? When is the anniversary?
The anniversary, the vehicle turns 7 years old on the 3rd of March, Convener. So it makes less than a month's difference either way, but obviously just the point of view of making sure we have a clear condition. I think in the last meeting it was from the date of the meeting, certainly.
Okay, well, we'll go from, it's only a month's difference, we'll go from the date of the meeting today. Okay, well, that's agreed. And Mr. Latimer, that's your item finished. You can leave now.
Right, okay, well, thank you very much for listening to me. And,
thank you.
Thanks for that. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, we'll move on to item 1B, which is a variation of private hire car operator's license with Craig Halliday. Is Mr. Halliday here?
He's not in the lobby as yet, no.
Well, just a couple of minutes early. He's due in at 15:15, so we'll just give him a couple of minutes.
I think Natalie has just reminded me that he's a written submission.
Well done. Yes. Now, I think this one came out in an email yesterday. If you check your emails. Thank you, Elaine.
No, it was Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie. Right. I'll just remind myself of the email. Douglas, this seems to be in the same kind of situation. The email certainly is supportive of the condition of the vehicle. Can you cover just the issue on the timescale, the dates of the extension? You're on mute, Douglas.
Apologies, Convener. Yes, Mr. Halliday, his 7-year anniversary of his vehicle, it's not actually 7 years old yet, but it will be on the 1st of May 2021. I think there's actually there's a slight error in the letter now. It says it would turn 7 years old in 2014. Obviously, it means 2021. He's indicated he's looking for a year in addition to, basically a year's extension, Convener. The vehicle was last inspected on the 11th of August.
Okay, any questions from members? And I think it's Councillor Mackay. You're on mute, Alistair.
Right, I'm just assuming you're going to make it conditional that he gets it an immediate test and then the 3 monthly.
Yes, that's going to be my submission, that we should, and the grant in this case, the extension was 12 months, a year. I would suggest from the expiry, given it's only a month away, but that that date, presumably from the start of the extension, is required to have a test, and thereafter 3 monthly. I think covers it off. And members agreed to that. That one's dealt with. Thank you. And just before we move on, I'm reminded that this is Natalie's last meeting with us. She's provided excellent and very support to the board for quite a number of meetings, and I've certainly appreciated Natalie's input and helped me out a lot. So I'd just like to record the board's appreciation to Natalie as she moves on to better things, and thank you, Natalie, for all your help in the past.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And now we'll move on. Can we exclude the press and public for the following item? Members agreed? Thank you. Could we stop the recording for this one?